with them for right now. I'm just trying to solve a problem that we have right now. But I have spoken with my coaches about being timely, about things of this nature. So I don't necessarily foresee it being a problem going forward on down the line. I'm old school too, so it's not a request that I was particularly fond of having to make, but it's just where we are right now at this time.
Right.
And again, I invite everyone up here to go to those booster meetings, get first-hand experience, and find out for yourself what's going on. I've been there.
So,
Brad's been there.
do you know, I mean, I think there has been some fundraising as far as for the Rudd uniforms. Do you know if they've been able to collect funds so
They
far?
have collected some. That's going to offset some of the cost that what we're asking here tonight, and that's going, like I said. So Mr. Turner is aware, of that, and so that's going through the high school. So that basically, any fundraising that's been done right now for Rudd has come from the high school football program. Fortunately, right now we do have a coach who is interested in trying to push the agenda. Not that we're trying to separate ourselves from the high school, but just being more centrally focused on, Rudd Middle School, so that we do have our own things. And so our kids can have a sense of identity about themselves when they walk on the field. They can see Rudd and not see, Penn. There's nothing wrong with Penn Valley High School. It's just right now they're at Rudd Middle School.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't think the kids at Kermit would want to be wearing ones that say Rudd yet either, so that makes sense.
exactly.
Okay, so Mr. Mayers wants to put it on the floor, so Joe, I'm gonna go ahead and mark you up there on the thing. We're about out of time, folks. We're gonna have to start the regular meeting. Will you be here for a little bit in case there's more discussion?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so during the meeting itself, unfortunately, it's toward the end of the meeting, but maybe it shouldn't take too long to get back around to it. So.
That's right.
We have about 60 seconds. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to add to the? You good? You good? Okay. We will reconvene here in just a few moments. Okay. Mr. Mayor, you want to tap us in there for call the. (2023) to order. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Please rise for the invocation at this time, be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Father, we thank you again for this evening and for allowing us to be able to come to this nice city hall and be able to discuss the people's business. We thank you so much, Father, for our schools and for the folks that are here from the schools tonight to be able to talk to us about some things that are going on and the programs that they have. Father, we ask that you would continue to provide protection for those folks and that you would be with them as they're getting ready to start the next school year. Father, we thank you for our first responders. We appreciate all that they do and the things that they do, putting themselves out there. We thank you for the blessings that you've given us and the opportunities there for Palmerdale is being able to show us the nice equipment that they've got outside tonight. We just want to acknowledge that fact. We ask that you continue to be with our community and look over us. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, can we have the roll call, please?
Counselor Irvin, Counselor Walker,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Roberts.
Here.
Counselor Churchwell,
Here.
Counselor Kirkland,
Here.
Mayor Cochran.
Here.
Excellent. So the next thing we want to do is look at some minutes, I believe.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve and waive the reading of the minutes for July 20th, 2023.
Excellent. Is there a second on that? Motion and a second. Is there any comments or discussion on those minutes? Everything look good? Everything looks good. I'll call for a vote at this time. All in favor of approving that motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Madam Clerk, we're all set on that. Next, we're going to have a few special guests that wanted to speak tonight. First, we have Miss Jackie Byers, and she is the behavior interventionist and the counselor at Kermit Johnson Elementary School. And she's got something that we know will be very important to our schools, all the schools this year, but we appreciate your extra effort in this particular area.
Good evening, Mayor Cochran and esteemed members of our council. I don't need it, I promise.
We have a very famous television show where folks are sitting at home right now watching to hear what you have to say.
Well,
So,
thank you. I am Jackie Byers. I'm the behavior interventionist and counselor at Kermit Johnson Elementary School. We're the 3rd through 5th grade feeder school here in the Pinson pattern. And we first want to thank you for everything that you do for us and for all of the schools in our community. You keep our campus absolutely beautiful, and we appreciate that. As I came through town the other day, I saw the mowers out at Rudd Middle School, and we really do want to say thank you for everything that you do. But I'm going to be the easiest person to talk to you tonight because I am not asking for any money. I am only
we like
here.
these speakers.
See, we actually are here to basically raise awareness within our community, and we wanted to use as many opportunities and platforms as we could to do that. I want to talk about school attendance. School attendance within our community is on the decline. Last year, our school, Kermit Johnson, our chronic absenteeism rose by 2 points, from 15% to 17%. Now, what is chronic absenteeism? That's when a student misses 18 or more days of school. We have to include doctors' excuses in that as well. Now, of course, we want families to take their children to the doctor and get the care that they need. But what we really want to bring awareness to is our families who are not sending their kids to school when there's not a valid medical reason for doing so. But let's talk about not just our chronic absenteeism, we want to talk about our close to chronic absenteeism. For us, those are students who miss between 15 and 18, those 3 extra days. And our close to chronic absenteeism increased by 11% last year. We have 27% of our students who missed 15 days of school, 16 or 17 days of school last year. Now, how does that affect our community? This data is, of course, reported to the state, and the state takes that information into account when it is providing the overall grade for our schools that is reported back to business developers, property developers, potential residents when they Google Pinson, Alabama. And of course, we want our school ratings to be as high as they possibly can be. We can't improve academic scores unless we get them to school, can we? So, getting our kids to school is a huge priority at our school this year. Absenteeism is affecting all of the schools within our feeder pattern. And as Mr. Walker said in the pre-meeting, it's not just our schools, it is nationwide. But we want to address this need in our community to improve the quality of education and the quality of life of people who live here in our Pinson community. Some of it can't be avoided, as we said, because we do have to include those medical issues. But if a student misses 2 days of school a month, that's once every 10 days of school, 2 days of school. At our school, they're going to miss 30 hours of reading instruction, 30 hours of math instruction. They're going to miss an average of one entire school year by the time they graduate high school. That's 2 days a week. That doesn't hit our chronic and our close to chronic kids. But our kids are missing an opportunity to further their education. So, according to the U.S. Department of Education, chronic absenteeism increases as students age. So what does that mean for our future high schoolers? Chronic absenteeism for our elementary students means that they are less likely to read at grade level. It's a high indicator of pre-graduation dropout rates. And it's also a high indicator that as an adult, they're going to have a very poor quality of life. Those are not the residents that we want within our communities. What are we going to do about it as a community? We're going to encourage and we're going to educate. And that's why I'm here tonight. We want to encourage both parents and students and educate them to both the risks and the rewards of having your kids at school. How are we going to do that? Well, we've got an LED sign out here in the front of the Pinson City Hall, and I met with Mayor Cochran and Mr. Winfrey this summer, and they have agreed to allow us to put just reminders that attendance is important on that sign. How many people drive by there every day? I can't begin to tell you, but those people are going to see that reminder. I understand that there is a possibility we might also get some signage at the library. I'm all for that because I'm going to utilize that to get our message out. We need your kid at school. We want your kid at school. We want to partner with Parks and Rec. We want to encourage our Park and Rec coaches, both athletically and our cheer coaches, to make school attendance part of the accountability for being on that field on Saturday. If you're not going to be at school giving your best effort at school, why would you be allowed to be on that field on Saturday? We want to get buy-in from our community, from the businesses and churches that are located within this community. We want to get their permission to use their spaces to educate our parents. When you're going into the gas station, you're going to open that door. What if we had a poster on that door, just a 8.5 by 11 flyer with some statistics about school attendance on it? So we also want to incentivize our kids who are coming to school. So we are going to be, get ready, Pinson, I'm calling you. Get ready, Trustful, I'm calling you, because that's where our kids' families spend their money. I want incentives from those businesses where those kids are spending their money to reward them for being at school, to reward them for making those good choices. And we want permission from the local businesses to help spread this word. Attendance matters. That's all I'm asking for, and I want to thank you for taking the time to hear what we have to say. And it's not just our school, it's all the schools within our feeder pattern. Thank you.
I had a quick question here. So
Okay.
based on the numbers you just gave, does that mean about 38% of the students at Kermit Johnson miss between the chronic and the near chronic? Almost 38% miss 15 days a year?
Now add them together.
Mm-hmm.
27% of our students miss 15 or more days.
Okay, so that's the near chronic and the chronic together
Yes,
was
it's
the
the near
27.
chronic and the chronic
Okay.
together. 27% of our kids miss more than 15 days of school.
Okay,
That's way too much.
that's a lot.
I agree with you. I'm old school, but if my children never miss, they got awards every year for perfect attendance. I said, if you're sick, if you don't want to go to school, they stay in bed all day long. They didn't want to stay in bed. But if you don't go to school, you don't play, you don't go out on that field or that
Yes.
court. I agree
Yes.
with that. I think the coaches need to be more strict on this. If you don't show up to school, you don't dress out.
We just want that buy-in from Park and Rec because they deal with our kids. Mr. Powell can deal with the coaches at the middle school. He can make that requirement at the middle school, and of course the high school can for their kids as well. But for us, we don't have, those organized sports teams. And they do play rec league ball. So let's make them
Same thing,
accountable.
right.
Okay? So I'm going to meet with the Park and Rec director and see if we can't put that encouragement in place as these kids begin to come to their practices and all of that at the beginning of this year. Okay?
Excellent.
Do y'all have any other questions for us? Thank you so much. We really do appreciate everything that y'all do for us. And I'm going to leave that discretionary spending money, I'm going to leave that to Miss Wilson, our principal. Thank y'all.
We appreciate you coming and sharing that with us tonight. Next, we have Chief Howell from the Palmerdale Fire District. And Chief, good to see you again.
Yeah, I believe I've been kind of MIA, seems like, for quite a while now. Had a lot of issues at home, a lot of personal things that happened, but I'm back and trying to get after it for everybody and everything in Palmerdale. I want to just start by telling y'all thank you. I know y'all don't hear that enough. I know the speaker before said the same thing. But there's been so much y'all have done for us that we wouldn't, I don't know what would have happened if we hadn't had that to help us get through. I just wanted to kind of give you a rundown on what a lot of y'all's help has been able to do for us just since the last time I was here. We got the new ambulance that y'all helped pay on. It's turned out really nice. It went in service on June the 8th, and it's just been wonderful to have something that we don't have to worry about breaking down or something falling off of it every time we leave. It came fully equipped. It had the power stretcher, the power stair chair, where we can take people up and down stairs without having to do it. It came through the county using their ARPA funds. So I had ARPA funds mixed with what y'all gave us to get that truck. We actually have a second truck where we were able to get two, and I found out yesterday that it's pretty close to being here. We were told late November, but they told me yesterday they were programming the radio for it and getting it ready to come out and get striped. So we may have two of our brand new trucks put in, the ambulances, which it's been a good thing because with this number of trucks, we have started offering a BLS ambulance. It's kind of a trial run right now, but when we respond, we have the paramedic on the scene, paramedic determines it's not necessarily an emergency. We have EMTs and advanced EMTs who can basically do everything a paramedic can, but some cardiac drugs. And if they're stable enough, if they're okay, we transport them in the BLS transport that has just a driver up front, EMT. Instead of tying up the paramedics, which, you know, are at a premium when things happen, as long as it's stable and the person in the back feels comfortable with it. And we've taken quite a few. And when we get this third truck, that's part of the plan. I plan to try to get another person to shift on and just to drive for us on those and keep 3 trucks up every day. That's to go from where we were to there is a huge step. We also kind of got lucky back in February. I don't know, I guess it's more of the right place, right time, but we've been needing a new fire engine for Station 1. That one was the 2008 model. And I was able to meet with the salesman from a place called NAFCO up in Decatur at the Chiefs Conference back in February. They had a fire truck that I really liked. They had it like marked down. It was very cheap compared to everything else you had if you tried to order one new. So we made an offer on it. Everything was good to go. The next morning I came back to meet him, and some other city had gotten it that supposedly they had gone first or whatever. Well, through talking with him, he said, well, let's just get you a new truck yourself that y'all can customize and do what you want. And I said, well, at the time, a new truck was $850,000 just to look at them. You know, no bells and whistles, no anything. And it may take up to 4 years to have it built. So this truck is a Rosenbauer. It's a 2022 model. It's brand new. We were able to customize it ourselves on the inside and put different shelves and things that fit us. And we were able to get it for $615,000 versus $850,000, which that was in February. Now they're over $900,000. And in fact, the majority of the major dealers have stopped taking orders right now because they can't catch up with supply chain and all that type of stuff. As y'all saw with our ambulance that we've been waiting on for 2 years. Trying to make sure I've covered all of this. One thing I have been wanting to come and discuss with y'all, I know over at least the last 3 years, y'all have been extremely gracious with the help with the payroll and the incentives to be able to keep people. You know, and y'all have had an allotment of money for us each year. And it normally comes toward the end of our fiscal year, which is September, so we start fresh in October. So it's almost like I'm here to make a yearly pitch for it, but that's really not. I just know how important it is. I know what we've been able to do with it, the number of people we've been able to put on. We're trying really hard to get state retirement, which will get us top quality people. We'll have people beating the door down, as well as insurance. A few things we don't have just to be able to retain people when we do get them. I just want to, let y'all know how valuable that money is to us. It goes strictly into the payroll. It helps us with raises as needed. And like I said, it's going to help put on these new people to drive the BLS trucks. You can tell I'm off my game tonight. I haven't spoken in public in a while. Just kind of.
You're doing good.
Yeah. That's really all I have for y'all. Just everything's going really good. We're transporting like crazy. We're helping Centerpoint. Our numbers are through the roof on number of transports. So the new trucks can't get here quick enough take care of the ones that keep breaking down on us every day. So, and that's all I've got. Unless y'all have any questions for me.
Well, Chief, that's some very exciting news there on that right there. So, so to stress the fact that you have used the funds that we've given you in the past, there has stabilized your staffing, and you've used that money strictly in the staffing areas.
The first year, we actually were able to give everybody a raise the paramedic pay even higher, because that's what we were trying to find, like everybody. And since then, it's been able to allow us to continue, and we've been able to send people through the schools they need to be able to pay them. So we have, we go to school, then they sign a 2-year contract, and they work for us for 2 years after that. And every bit of that is basically coming from that money from y'all. It's the only reason that we have any money to be able to add a few people, because I've gotten to manage our budget very tightly on payroll, and I'm always kind of a wishful thinker. So when I made our budget for the first of the year, I always include that 75,000 just in case it happens to come. And it would definitely be beneficial for us if it could.
Well, let me say this. When the idea was originally proposed, it was a stopgap. Give us some money, help us get the dike, finger in the dike. Then we start rolling the trucks, then we'll be stable. What happens is stable.
We are stable. I saved us
I'm saying
just
without
over
this
$1
money.
million in these trucks that we've been working through.
Well, I'll say this. My intention was not, when we started this, to get into a long-term, every year give this money. That was not my intention. So, go back. Create a good game plan. Bring that to us and show us why we need to. Okay?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I want from you, Jason. That's just me talking. Am I wrong?
Well, I have a slightly different take on that, because I feel like, and you tell me if I'm saying this wrong, but it sounds like what you've done is with the monies that we've given has enabled you to go to a higher level than what you even could have dreamed of 2 years ago when you first came to us. So when you first came, you had low staffing, you didn't have enough staffing, and you had a lot of turnover. That subsided, is that correct?
Yeah, that money allowed us to pay decent enough for people to stay for a little bit.
Okay. And then in addition to that, though, now because you've been stable in that area, then you've been able to do other things, such as being able to get your equipment stuff in order and do other things. I know y'all are under a big ISO
Yeah.
review now and that sort of thing going on.
But Robbie, that's a different request. That's a different animal
But
than what we're dealing with here.
Mayor, if I may, I believe what Councilman Roberts is saying is without that money in our payroll, we wouldn't be able to do the other stuff.
But we didn't give you the money to do those things. We gave you the money to get the staffing so you can make the calls, so you could
And that's still
have
what it
enough
goes
money
to.
to pay them.
Yes, sir.
That's what we were told.
Yeah, and
So
it's
I'm just
100%
saying-
for staffing.
Build a better case for me.
Well, I think you're doing a good job, and we need you. This is for all the citizens, and we need you.
We appreciate it. I mean, we try to.
And we
like I
want to
said,
help, because I know how hard it is. I mean, everybody out there and knows how hard it is to get top quality people. And when you come to keeping paramedics, you bet,
it's almost
know.
impossible.
Is that a motion?
Well, no, sir, we're just in a public comment here.
I mean,
He's
she
just,
can make a motion if she wants to,
well,
to continue the support. I'm
Well,
okay with that.
I would prefer to come back to it, but I mean, you're open to if you want it this time.
to
You
make-
don't want to make
well,
a motion?
here's one thing, a problem I have tonight. We don't have a budget.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't like spending any more of the people's money. This is the people's money. It's not ours.
Right.
It's
Gotta be
theirs.
accountable for every
Right.
penny of it, yes, ma'am.
And I don't like spending any more money until we have a budget. And I want to do this for you and for our fire department.
Yes,
We need you. But I don't feel comfortable tonight now spending any money because we don't have a budget.
Yes, ma'am. I almost didn't give my proposal when I heard y'all saying that earlier, because you got to be fiscally responsible, which y'all always have. And in that situation, I wouldn't give me the money either until we get that worked out.
Right.
Well, we do have a conditional budget we're operating on from last year. We just don't have the finished product for this year with the increases, which is what it's gonna be.
Chief, I did want to also mention the
you,
ambulance. I
Jason.
know that we got a chance to go out before the meeting. We normally like to try to do a little bit of that also during the pre-council, but we had a lot of stuff to cover there, so we weren't able to get back outside again. But many of us were able to go out and take a look at it. It's a beautiful piece of equipment, and as someone who is you mentioned about they're doing the programming of the other radio, and it might be another few weeks before you see it. After seeing that radio, I understand why it might take that long to program it.
It does take a while.
If anything
It's,
happens to
very
any of that stuff,
sophisticated.
we're in trouble, that's for sure.
So everything's right there at the fingertips of the driver. He can control all sorts of things right there from that touch panel. The lighting, the sirens, the lifting. Now these trucks go up and down in order to assist people. You give a demonstration. I tried to get Councilor Churchwell to lay down on the stretcher to give us a full demo there, but he didn't want to give out a whirl. He did volunteer me if I wanted to give it a try, but
Of course, yes.
there's no back injuries now with the guys. It's all pretty much
Yes.
motorized.
Part
and
of it
everything.
came with the automatic, well, not automatic load, but the power load stretcher system.
Amazing.
It supports the weight for us. As we come out, then we lower the back legs down, come out a little further, and then lower the front legs down, and you never have to support the weight. So obviously, that's gonna help everybody on the truck not to have to do any lifting or anything like that. And that came with the stair chair that I was describing. That's basically tank tracks, tread on it, and it'll go up and down, basically motorized, battery powered. And, you know, used to we would try to get the stretcher to the people, but now we try to get the patient to the stretcher, because the stretcher with all that stuff on it is about 700 pounds. So, you know, it's you don't want to tote that up some stairs somewhere. But we were able to put something I thought kind of unique across the top of the front. We actually have like the Pinson spear, and have Fear the Spear written across it. And then very similar to Centerpoint, we had a couple of the PVs on each side. And I think they turned out really nice. I wanted to show recognition to y'all for everything. You know, I know PV is the high school, but this whole community is a community. That's kind of, to me, that's been the symbol of the community.
So that'll be the truck we'll have at the football games, right?
Of course. I had to make sure everybody understood that. I said, I don't care what else we're running on. Let's
Okay,
go.
great.
Chief,
I appreciate it, Jason.
you mentioned a while ago, or earlier, that new engine out there cost $615,000.
617.
Financially, how is Palmerdale set to handle that?
We just made the last payment of $62,000 a year on our newest engine, and it worked out perfectly. And we're doing a lease purchase, so we no longer will have the engine payment we have had, and the new one we'll get in '24, and then you get a year without having to till the first payment's even due. So it'll be 25 before we make the first payment, and we will be looking around 90 grand a year on the lease purchase, and that's if we keep rates where they are right now.
So basically, nothing's paid on it. It's just that the other one dropped off and you don't have that payment now.
Correct.
And
We're
all
just
your
swapping-
payments are gonna be going toward this one?
We're just swapping the one that we just finished paying off for the new one, which that's how it's always been. Try to do it on a 10-year basis, but sometimes you just can't do it. And that's where we've gotten kind of stuck behind right now. But this will bring us up. I just got to find somewhere to put everything. That's my next problem. But this will definitely have frontline, basically brand new everything that on all of our equipment. So I'm excited about it. The way the county commission, they came through, Chris Willis with them, all of them, it's just been a great way everybody got together.
So Chief, I know you've got some land, I think we helped you out with that, that's not too far away, it's centrally located in the district. You told me that some ISO folks have told you that'd be a really advantageous spot to be. Is the board talking about some plans about actually breaking ground and getting that station up?
If we had 15 more employees, it would be advantageous. If we build it right now and don't have but 1 or 2 people there, it's going to knock our score way down. In fact, that was my initial thought, was to try to put at least the bay portion of the building on that property.
Mm-hmm.
But once we make it a fire station, we get graded against having 3 fire stations, which right now is just 2. But once you get graded at that, there's a minimum required personnel, and that makes us that much further away from it, which lowers our score even more. So until we get down the road a little bit, we're gonna have to figure out exactly how to do that.
But that's still in your long-term plans?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's gonna be our flagship station is the plan. It'll be sitting right there on the highway where it's centrally located for basically everybody. And I think we may go ahead with the Meadow building, Butler building, maybe 2 deep, so we can store some of the trucks there, the reserve, so we don't have to have immediate access to them. But it's definitely on the plan, so I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do it without hurting us and sending things the wrong way. And I haven't quite got there yet on that.
Chief, I got one last question for you, and then we'll see if anybody else has any. And that is, are you still wanting us to clear all that large trees that are next to the station? And I don't know if that flooding problem had just disappeared on its own, or if it's still a problem.
That whole page of that paper over there was to talk about that. But, yeah, behind the storm shelter, behind the fire station, the old tennis court, I believe is what they said it was, there's a drainage ditch runs between the moors and the fire station. And it's always flooded. It floods into the back of the station, into our guys' lockers where their personal clothes, turnout gear and stuff is. And at times, the water almost got to the storm shelter last time we had heavy rains. Something has to be done cleaning out that drainage ditch first and getting the trees that are behind the station down and getting that burn down out of the way, and have somebody just do a little bit of grading. It wouldn't be much of anything, and that would save the storm shelter from getting messed up, save us from having to replace part of the fire station every time it rains. That's been going on. I've been there 27 years, and that was happening when I first started. So just the creek part of
Right.
the flood. But it's definitely got to work.
Well, I know that we talked with Eric in the past. He's been up there and looked at it for you and everything. Unfortunately, since it's right next to the building, there's a lot of high risk in there. We don't, we could go in there and start knocking stuff over. And
Well, and that's
he
where
took one
the
look
fuel
at.
tanks are too.
Yeah, he took one look at how expensive those trucks are you have, and that big, nice auxiliary radio antenna that's back there. And so, whoa, I don't know. Mr. Black's not here tonight, but he would start getting very nervous about waivers to be signed and stuff on that. So we obviously need to try to see if we can find an outside contractor to come in and do that. Now, once the trees are down, I believe we could probably handle doing this grading work and stuff. We've got some new equipment on order that's coming in.
Sounds
so
great.
That would
Sounds
work.
great. Jason, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And don't take my request earlier as a knock on you.
No,
As not.
look, I've got a job to do.
The same requirements she wants from me, I want from you.
No problem whatsoever.
Brad, do you have anything? for the Chief?
Fairly stated.
You good?
Thank
It's
you,
good to
Jason.
see you, by the way.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, we're now going to move on to, speaking of some money, to the payment of the bills. Mr. Walker.
Yes, I would like to make a motion that we pay the bills in the amount of $212,683.20.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second on that. So are there any highlight items on here? We didn't mention this during the first part of
Sheriff's
the movie.
Department's a pretty big one.
Sheriffs, those guys like to get paid too, so,
Yeah,
yeah, you're
I'm
right,
sure
that
why.
is pretty nice. Was that, I'm assuming that was a multi-month or something?
Yes.
It's multi-month.
Okay. Also, we've got some of the activities over here on the Rock School, I believe,
Right.
that's going on there, correct? Okay.
That is correct.
All right, if there's no other questions or comments on that, all in favor of approving that bill schedule, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And we will now pay the bills. Next, we're going to move on to annexation. Mr. Churchwell.
Yes, we've got a request for annexation of Parkway Properties, which is located on 4024 Main Street in Pinson. Recommend this be annexed into the city.
Second.
Motion and a second on that. So, Mr. Mayor, are we okay to actually say the name of the company, I believe?
Where's Bob? I
We'll-
would
we'll-
hesitate.
We will let Bob come in and be the arbitrator of that.
Looking for Bob.
Okay.
Ask Bob that question.
Bob, so we've got a motion. As a matter of fact, I want to do a little clarification here with Mr. Churchwell's permission here. We've actually got 3 properties that are being asked to be annexed in from Parkway Properties LLC. I won't go through the entire thing, but one of them's at 4024 Main Street, the other one's at 4027 Main Street, and the third one's at 4032 Main Street. We didn't know whether or not it was appropriate to mention the purpose that the Parkway Properties LLC would be putting that in for.
I don't think it's anything proprietary at this point because they're trying to move forward. It's Rainbow Car Wash.
Rainbow Car Wash,
The flag lot is not a part of the development.
but it's Raindrop Car Wash
I'm
because
sorry.
I said the same thing earlier, so you may have got that from me.
I did that.
What
Robbie
am
did.
I gonna do
Robbie
with you
did
guys?
it. We're gonna depend on each of us to straighten us out. The flag lot that you see is just a part of the property he had to obtain with the deal. I think it's gonna be sold off. So, just so people understand, that front lot's what's really our concern, and the flag lot's not being rezoned,
Okay,
only the front part.
Thank you, Bob.
Go out.
appreciate
Even
that.
though I got it wrong.
I joked earlier that I've seen some flag lots before, but that might be the tallest pole on one of those flag lots I'd ever seen, so. We have a motion and a second, so we're gonna need a motion to unanimous
Unanimous
consent, I
consent.
believe, to move forward with that, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell,
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland,
Yes.
Mayor Cochran.
Yes.
Excellent. So was there any other questions about the Raindrop Car Wash proposal? We're very excited about them coming in and very excited about them doing that. So if not, can we have a roll call vote on the actual motion?
Counselor Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell,
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland,
Yes.
Mayor Cochran.
Yes. And welcome to Benson.
Yes, welcome to Pinson. I believe I heard the chief mentioning from the unrecognized, but still could be heard here, mentioning the fact that it will help them bring in, making it a lot more convenient for being able to have some trucks washed. That motion passes unanimously as ordinance number 2023-12. Thank you. Oh. We'll all get our personal vehicles, watch theirs too. Perhaps we could suggest the extra large bay. Let's see here. Next is enhancements. I'll go ahead and cover that tonight. It's we've got the last of the movies at the Rock for this summer season. We're talking about possibly doing something in the fall, but right now this is the end of the summer group, and that will be on Saturday the 5th, coming up. It's starting at 7 o'clock. This is our big back to school event. There'll also be school supplies and free food at this, and I believe that the movie is going to be the DC League of Super Pets. So it's going to be a really nice film. You don't have to worry about if it's raining. You don't have to worry about this high humidity and the heat wave. We've had a couple of these over here, and each time the attendance has steadily improved. So we encourage everyone to come on over and enjoy that nice air conditioning and the nice movie setup that we have over there. So appreciate that. Next, we're going to move on to an issue before Planning and Zoning, and so we're going to have a public hearing for a rezoning proposal at 4397 Main Street. This is a post-annexation zoning request, so this is some property we recently took in, and I believe that, Ms. Kirkland, was that something you were going to put forward?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. First off, we're going to have the hearing. So I'm going to open the hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this 4397 Main Street rezoning? If there's no one here, I'll close the hearing, and I will now move to where I accidentally almost went too quickly there with Ms. Kirkland.
I know, I was, yes, I would like to make a motion to annex the, and change the zoning classification for the property at 4397 Main Street and annex it into the city of Pinson.
Well, it's not really annexation, it's a post-annexation
Post-annexation.
rezoning. So
Oh,
what is
rezo-
the new
okay.
zoning there on that?
And it would, the Planning and Zoning Board voted for it with a unanimous consent.
So it looks like it was residential medium with the
Yes.
county, and it looks like we're gonna keep it the same thing, so it's not a really, it's not a big change on that, is that right?
Right.
Bob's looking at our screen very carefully there, so I'm looking at the same piece of paper, so I think that's the same thing there. Okay, so,
Just coming from Jefferson County.
yeah,
into
it's just a
Pinson.
reload on there. Madam Clerk, we need to do the same thing, I believe, on the
We need a
unanimous
second.
consent. Oh, do we have a
Second.
second on that motion?
Second.
Second, thank you.
Okay. Counselor Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell,
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland.
Yes.
Mayor Cochran.
So we're good for, everybody's good for going in and voting on that. Any other discussion about, looks pretty straightforward. Madam Clerk, can we go ahead and call the roll on the actual change?
Counselor Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell,
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland,
Yes.
Mayor Cochran.
So that motion passes as ordinance number 2023-13. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. And we're glad to get that taken care of. I'm sure we'll soon be doing one on the Rainbow Car Wash, folks.
Raindrop.
Raindrop. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get over. The next thing up looks like it's under the mayor's report, and Mayor Cochran wanted us to mention, of course, our big National Night Out, which will be on September the 19th. We brought this up at our last meeting. I believe it's going to be at the Bicentennial Park. Good news is our neighbors over in Clay are still excited about joining us. I guess Ronnie went back and talked to the head folks over there, and they agreed with his idea. So we're expecting them to come with the dessert options, but the city of Pinson will be providing the main tubular steaks and that sort of thing, I believe, is what's normally put on the menu. Be starting around 5 o'clock. So again, at the Bicentennial Park, and that'll be a Tuesday night on September the 19th. So go ahead and put that into your save the date, and we would enjoy having as many folks as would like to come down and visit that night. It'd be great. Next is, there is no old business, but tonight we do have a little bit of new business, and one thing was on the list was for some uniform requests for Rudd Middle School, and we got to hear Mr. Powell earlier in the pre-council meeting, but prior, I'm sorry. In the pre-council meeting, I want to suspend the rules and give you another chance to come up and speak, because we ran out of time, and
Point
give you a
of
chance to.
order.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the name of anything?
Name of who?
Anything?
No, I do not tonight, apparently. Don't even ask me my own name.
My word.
It might end in the word Bo, but I'm not sure.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this time. What I was requesting and what the school of Rudd Middle School is requesting is just some uniforms for our football team. We don't have any uniforms that say Rudd Middle School on them. All of our uniforms have been passed down in the recent years, and they state Pinson Valley, and they're older uniforms. And we were just trying to purchase some newer uniforms for our guys, and just asking for some assistance on that.
Well, number one, thank you for the job you've been doing at Rudd. I've received nothing but compliments from the staff and the parents.
Thank you.
So you can't go anywhere soon, okay? We need you there.
Yes, sir.
Questions?
When does the season start?
August 24th is the first game.
When does school begin? That's
Next
what.
week, starts
fifth.
next week on the 8th.
Isn't it?
On the
Next
Eight?
week.
8th.
Okay.
Teachers came back today,
Okay.
or yesterday, excuse me.
So you excited to be here? Gotten to meet some folks?
I am excited, very excited to be here. I love this community. It's been very welcoming to me and my family. I started here back in December,
Okay.
right before Christmas break, and I've
Excellent.
enjoyed it ever since.
So that gave you a nice little tune-up there for the end of
That's
last
right.
year. So now you know the lay of the land now.
That's
so.
right. That's right.
Already straightened out some problems.
Trying to.
You already have.
Unfortunately, that comes with the territory, doesn't it?
That's right.
It does.
Well, we appreciate you coming down tonight, and I did want to give you a chance to
Thank you.
speak. on
I'll
that.
make that motion.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, would make a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Is there a motion and a second here on the school uniforms proposal there? So was there any discussion concerning these uniforms?
Just to mention that would come out of our discretionary funds.
That's what I was fixing to say. Yeah. Coming out of the discretionary fund, I don't have a problem with it.
Thank you.
All in favor of approving the Rudd Middle School uniform request, say aye.
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 All opposed, no.
No.
We have the ayes carry, so we'll go ahead and move forward with the Rudd Middle School request. Mr. Mayor, I believe you have another request from the high school.
And Coach Eatman is here.
Excellent,
on, Coach.
excellent. We will suspend again for Coach. Prepare to be grilled, Coach. We got a lot of questions. We want to talk to you about your booster club involvement and all that kind of shit. So,
First off, I want to say good evening to Mayor Cochran, to all the councilmen and the clerk. I am Gentrell Leekman, the head football coach at Pinson Valley High School. First of all, I want to say thank you for all the things that you have done, not only for the football team, but for this whole community, and especially Pinson Valley High School. This is not my first stunt here in Pinson. I first came back in 17 when Coach Nix was the head coach and was here for 3 years, 3 seasons. Then I had to step back for 3 seasons, and now I'm back. And so I just want to say thank you to all what y'all have been doing here, and what you all plan on continuing to do.
well, Coach, I want to welcome you to Pinson. I'm very excited about the fact that we have
Welcome back.
well, welcome back, but welcome as the head coach.
Thank you.
I have been waiting for years for us to have a Blazer at the helm. So
All right, we are here now.
I want you to know now that when Mayor Cochran asked me who I was for, I told him UAB, and he described me as being an agnostic. So
At the time, that was pretty accurate.
that tells you how long I've been a fan. So I did get to see you play because I've been to all the games since we started the program. So everybody pretty much knows I'm a big fan of UAB. So, Coach, I want you to tell us a little bit about the Booster Club, because here's the question that I really like to ask folks is, we like to help the community out, we like to work with them, but we don't really like to just be seen as just a pile of money over here on the thing. We want to see the parents and the community involved and being able to do stuff and us all working together. So what's happening on that front? Are you able to re-energize that? I think the term I used earlier in the pre-council was that group that kind of atrophied, I believe was it. And Mayor Cochran's trying to get us to all come and join your booster group, but just
That'll be great. Well, at this point now, what I try to do is try to have a booster club meeting every month.
Okay.
With them, and try to let them know the importance of helping out and going out and trying to request funds or get funds for the program or for the kids. One of the biggest thing is trying to just let them know that, hey, that we all in here helping together, and everybody gotta pull their weight. If your child is a part of the football team, that means you automatic part of the booster club. And so I think this has been a drop off. And with that, my whole thing is trying to get them to come. You might have to do a little extra, feed them so they can come, so they can get it. And so one thing though, with them working together, I try to break them down into classes, whatever grade your son in or your child in, to start a chat email process where you are responsible for certain things. So like I was saying, everybody got to carry their own weight.
Excellent. So do y'all have a fund? Obviously, I know you go to the corporate world and ask for community support and stuff, but are the individual players and things, are they out doing fundraisers? We were talking earlier about the Krispy Kreme drives and that kind of thing. I remember I've seen even in the last 5 years or so, I've had players come and, y'all have done the dining
cards.
Discount cards and that kind of thing, which is always very
Well,
nice.
yeah, we got to the cards. I think at Pinson they kind of shied away with it when COVID hit, and this year we brought back snap raises where they sent out emails. And another thing that we're going to do later on, and I'm quite sure you all have witnessed it, selling popcorn. And so that's one of the next thing that we're going to do. And so by me coming in late and having only the summer, so I didn't want to have fundraiser after fundraiser, so I was trying to give a break to it. And then later on, like during the middle of the season, we will also have some fundraisers to it as well.
Excellent. Did anybody else have questions? And then I want to talk to you specifically about headsets, but
No,
anybody else have?
I haven't been involved with the softball program and doing the chains for football for so many years. I understand where you are, so we understand the request.
Mr. Churchwell, I believe you've got some experience with those chains too. didn't you?
Yes.
About 25 years, but I don't want to do them anymore.
When I was younger, I might have been yelling at Mr. Churchwell, not even knowing him, and saying, just stretch that thing a little bit further to keep the defense in trouble. So,
Have you been to the county at all and asked for any funds?
Me personally, no, I
They
haven't.
don't give them anything.
Sorry?
No, I haven't personally. I don't think anyone else have.
they're not a really welcoming group down there, I don't believe, toward you. They like, I'm sure they're around for photo ops when y'all win
Oh, yeah.
championships,
Oh, yeah.
but they're not very friendly there with the other.
They view it as, we pay the coaches, y'all handle everything else.
Yeah.
That's the way they view it.
So, Coach, tell me about these headsets. I know we've all seen them, and I know you hadn't been here in a few years, but we've all seen them on the sidelines. Unfortunately, I see, especially these high-dollar coaches, which I know we don't have any of those, tend to get a little frustrated at times with the players, and those headsets tend to take the brunt of the. We've all seen, I think Coach Spurrier used to throw his cap down on the ground, and now it's those fancy headsets. I had no idea they cost so much. So tell me about this. I'll be perfect.
Those guys, the one Nick Saban wears,
Yeah,
costs $12,000 by itself. One headset.
that's crazy, isn't it? I want you to explain this to me. I want you to put yourself in my shoes. We have regular folks out there, taxpayers, and they're like, whoa, what's this right here all about? So I think sometimes education helps us all.
Well,
So.
that's no problem. Well, the headsets that we are requesting are wireless headsets, and is able to talk to coaches that's in the press box who've seen a lot of stuff that a lot of coaches really can't see at the playing level field. And so you get that interaction chance to be able to speak to them directly with a speaker. For the ones that they had, like I said, it was kind of beat up some, and only certain people can speak on there. I think it's about 2 on each side of the ball. So I think it's like 5 people speaking, including the head coach, 2 on offense, 2 on defense, and the head coach. Well, therefore, now I don't know who programmed them like that, but
Griggs.
to either give them unprogrammed and to get away, you're going to be spending more than what we were asking for. But with now, as going on, holding people accountability, every coach has a responsibility. Every coach got to be able to talk to someone. So when the mic is down, you're able to speak, and when the mic is up, they on mute, so they can't hear you. So that is one reason why we're doing, like I said, it's a technology fund, where, like I said, the kids are able to communicate with the coach because the coach spending time with them on the field all the time. But if that coach is in the booth, it's hard for them to communicate because you can't take a headset off really in high school and give it to a kid. They call it cheat. It's a form of cheating. So that's the reason we have the speaker down so everyone can hear what the coach is saying from up top.
Okay. So, Coach, do you have a system here as far as we assign these particular pieces of equipment to individuals so that, in other words, there's some accountability here for the coach that loses his cool and throws it down? He knows he's got to pay for having that thing repaired, or what?
Well, they all will have labels on them.
Okay.
And at my last place where I was, I had one coach to do it, and I had to go up to him during the game and say, hey, you're going to pay for that one.
Well, good. So you got experience then with calling them on the carpet. So, and I understand there's passion in the game. That's what makes it fun. But obviously, though, folks that aren't sports fans kind of scratch their heads at times. So on that. Okay. So you've done an excellent job of explaining what the purpose and all that right there was for. So you don't happen to have another set of uniforms lying around that Mike?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. Well, we thought we'd ask because apparently about 6-7 years ago they passed a set down, so down to Rudd. So, anyone else have any more comments about the?
I just wanted to say again, I'm all for sports. I had a son that played pro ball, so I know what it's like, and I was with him from grade school on up, and so I just think the parents need to, it's a wake-up call. You better get out there and let's do some fundraising. Once they know the money thing is cut down, they just can't come. If they know they're going to get it all the time, they won't have the initiative to go do it. But if they know they have to get out there and do fundraising, they will do it. And I guarantee you they'll have those uniforms and have them ordered in another week. I would, if they're parents like I was, they'd get out there and do it. I would donate $100 to it of my own money, my personal money, for it. So to get them going, go. I'll help them. I'll sell donuts for them.
Well, unfortunately.
So I'm just wanting you to know that I'm all for the schools. I'm all for the children.
Yes, ma'am.
But at some point in time, they do need to be proactive.
Yes.
Well, a great number of these kids don't have a parent like you. I agree with that. My parents worked hard. I worked hard for my daughter. But a bunch of these kids, they don't have that kind of parent, unfortunately. And you're looking at Dad right there. He replaces a lot of dads.
Oh,
that
I know.
guy.
I know.
Because that's the way it is now. It's not the way it used to be. Unfortunately, I agree with everything you're saying, but it ain't the way it is. It's just not. I've been fundraising myself over the years, probably $250,000, because some of these kids, they don't have it. They don't have those kind of parents, unfortunately. Thank you for being in trail.
Thank you.
Brad, anything?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, my parents, they both worked, and I played sports, marched in the band. They weren't there all the time, so it's not necessarily about the style of parenting. It's just that they can't. So we understand.
Well, Coach, I feel a little bit bad about the timing of the year and everything. We're a little behind. We've had some new software we've gotten in here at City Hall. The clerk's office has been working diligently trying to get things straightened out there with that. We don't have a city budget at this time, so it's it puts us under a little bit of pressure because we got our own department heads going, hey, what are we doing in this coming year? We're waiting to get some feedback in house, so it makes me more hesitant, about doing things. I do appreciate what the mayor said though about making the kids suffer because of our failures, and that's probably not very fair either. So I just, like I say, I don't know what's fixing to happen to this vote, but I just want to let you know that you might be caught a little bit in the middle of something there, so I just want to say that. So.
Shouldn't be.
Madam Clerk, will, can
I
you
make
go?
a motion that we approve the requested funds.
Oh, I thought we already had that. Do we need a second on that too? Then?
Second.
Motion and second. John?
I also will go along with that if you do the discretionary funds. It come out of the discretionary fund.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Yes, sir.
Good. Let me go ahead and have a roll call vote on this particular one.
Counselor Walker,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roberts.
No.
Counselor Churchwell,
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland,
No.
Mayor Cochran.
Yes.
And the motion passes 3-2. And again, Coach, I would have voted to giving you the money in a few weeks anyway, but I feel kind of bad about the way things are going with the explaining stuff. So appreciate the big picture on that. But I am very excited about having a Blazer at the head down there. So I believe that completes the new business. So we will now open for public comment. So I don't know if there's anyone here that needed to or desired to say anything. Several of the people here tonight have already spoken. They were special guests. So.
Yeah.
May I?
Yes.
I would just like to thank my girls that are here, my department. They have been working hard to get the budget, to get everything in order on this software. But they chose to come to the meeting tonight and see how things were held here.
I saw them back here. I
So,
was wondering, thought, uh-oh, were we in trouble?
No, no, they just wanted to come and see how things worked here and meet everybody and that kind of thing.
Well, we
So,
certainly
but I
appreciate-
appreciate the hard work they're putting in too.
Well, we certainly do, and we appreciate all the work that y'all are doing there. And glad to see y'all tonight. Feel free to come back any other time. You don't have to just watch us on TV. You can come down here live, so appreciate that.
That's right.
Hey, Marie,
So-
can I ask a question?
Sure.
When are we gonna have the budget?
That would be up to the mayor. We are still working on the bank recs. We're still working with the software company. Once that's done, then it'll be in his hands to get us together to do the budget.
It should be pretty simple. The budget is loaded. We just have to get everything reconciled, accruals done, and then go through the budget with the department heads and make adjustments.
How about all the mistakes and things we had? Have we gotten them corrected? Have we got?
Working on that.
So, well, we do have the new accountant, I believe, and he's lined up and going on all that jazz.
They
He's
were
not
tra-
working yet. He's waiting on this bank rec
He's-
that we're still
he's clear to
working
go,
the
though.
software on.
They were
Okay.
going through training on some of that today, and will again tomorrow.
But he's ready. He'll be coming on the
He's
scene
ready.
as soon as we get the software stuff straightened out. Great.
But to let the public know, we're not broke. We got $3 million in the bank. We're okay.
We know how much has come in. We know how much has gone out. We're working on the middle.
That's right.
That's a good way to put it.
We're
So-
doing fine.
So
have
again, we
more
do
money in
appreciate
the
all the
bank.
work. These ladies that are here tonight are some of the team. We got other team members, and I
Right.
know the clerk's been working very
Right.
hard.
We have more money in the bank today than we have in our history. Period.
Shh, we don't want to have more requests before we get finished.
Well, it's their money.
That's true. That's true.
At the end of the day, it's not my money.
Well, we didn't share, and I will say this, that during the pre-council, Mr. Winfrey brought us some preliminary designs from our architect concerning some remodeling we want to do over on our Rock School Complex auditorium, which y'all may have seen the new roof that's over there. Well, actually, inside the building, we want to do some changes too. So we've got some preliminary information on that that was presented to the council tonight, and they're going to be coming back with some future items on that. And that obviously won't be a cheap project by any means, but it's going to be really, really nice. So
That's right.
Another nice addition over there. So we appreciate that. I don't see anybody else from the audience that wanted to say anything. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second on that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.